On this week's episode, the Lucid One returns, Butsumet sticks his devil horns out from behind the curtain, and Bitcoin goes over 60k, but I don't care, cause I haven't got any. All that, plus our demo segment, right after this.
And this is the microgram with Anticipating the Crash from his brand new album.
Saturday morning, you've got your coffee and croissants ready, to settle into a brand new episode of Canvas Weekly. Greetings, y'all. My name's Shima. I'm joined by the ever name-changing, the revolving door of names himself, Lucid. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, we're back on Lucid again now. And I think, Lucid for a good while now.
Yeah.
Like, Lucid's just my main name, isn't it, to be honest?
Yeah, that's what everyone refers to you as now. Like,
except like Vaporwave Geeks, they'll call me HK.
Yeah, but that's like, I mean, do you even listen to the Geeks?
Well,
I mean, that's on you for listening to Geeks.
I hear them, but I don't listen to them, if that makes sense.
Makes sense. And speaking of geeks, apparently things that are blowing up on Twitter, people were getting a big old discussion about whether or not it's political or not music.
We're getting right into the news then, yeah. Alright,
We're getting right into the news, I'm sorry.
There's been a pretty, hot topic the last few days on Twitter about, politics and music. A lot of people saying, music is inherently political. And then Anthony Fantano, who has been, he's been a guest on this podcast in the past, well, the old version of Canvas anyway. He put out a big, statement on it. Do you want to sort of go into it a little bit?
Well, the basic argument is that music is like political in some aspect or another, regardless of what notes you create, what order you make them in, what genre you're in.
Yeah, I guess like what.
Musical expression
Yeah,
is a political expression
yeah,
somehow.
yeah. I guess like the argument that's being made, mostly from, I guess like leftists and socialists and stuff, is that music is inherently political because it comes from the nature of how politics is or whatever, or the nature of like a society. It's the music is a reflection of it, that kind of thing.
I mean, not necessarily.
Well, let's like hear like an argument, for example. So, like I disagree with the notion, but I'll try and like explain it in their words as fairly as I can first before I say why I disagree. So, I guess
Do you want
like
to re-record this? Because I'm like slow as fuck. I want to pull up this tweet because like this tweet in specific like triggered this, and I want to have that tweet so we can.
Well, you pull it up like while I try and explain it. So like
okay.
No, you thrown me off. Hold on, let me get my thoughts together here. So the idea is like music is it doesn't just appear out of thin air as such. It appears from people, and people are part of like communities and cultures and so on. And these things are all inherently political in and of themselves. There's no community that exists beyond politics as such. So like whatever, any music that you make is inherently political. And then they'll often point to an example like, say, rap music, for example.
Here's a tweet here that says art is political and music is art.
Well,
There's a tweet here that just says that.
All right. Yeah, this is what I'm trying to explain, like that phrase. So, so like rap music, for example, the claim would be is like inherently political because it was born in sort of like American black culture in the ghetto, which is like that's a specific community that exists because of politics. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So the nature of like politics sort of influences the community, which then makes music of a certain type. So certain like instruments may only be available to like a specific type of people, and that is political in a sense. This is sort of like the most vague way I can try and spell out the argument. So do you sort of like make sense of that? What do you think of that?
I think that it's.
I'm not really
bullshit,
good at like.
quite frankly. Honestly, like, and I'm just looking through like some of these tweets that people are putting out.
Go on, read some out, like ones that stand out. Like, try and read the more intellectual ones if you can.
So the biggest ones that stand out here, to me, is like Fantano's whole take on it.
Fantano had a bit of a different take that I want to get into like after this part, because I'm trying to like explain why these people do see like music as inherently political. Like, he didn't say anything on that specific topic, did he? Like, I didn't see anything.
Why he sees music as political? Yeah. I'm not entirely sure that I see anything.
No, but he like made a comment that sort of came out of this whole topic that is trending on Twitter, which we'll get into after this part. So you say this is bullshit? Then go and explain why you think so.
Well, the argument that I'm seeing a lot of people making is that everything is political in some aspect or another, right. And I mean that's true, but in the same sense. This gets onto the concept of labels in the first place, because the idea that everyone could put the world in these boxes and label them and describe everything as a predefined set of labels that we come up with using language, this idea is nothing more than maths, which is nothing more than lying to people and pretending that you're smart while doing it. It's life,
wait a
existence.
sec. Wait. I need to pause you there. So you on the anti-maths bandwagon with me, no?
I'm on the anti-maths, anti-language,
Nice.
anti-science.
Nice.
I'm anti all three of them.
Yeah, I'm
Because
with
as
you
far
on
as
all
I'm
three.
concerned, life itself does not need fancy explanations. Life itself does not need these labels and these attachments.
So would you say, so let me refine what you're saying there, or like, you know, would you say politics only arrives because of language itself?
Yeah, essentially.
But
It's
then
political jousting in a sense.
But then isn't language also inherent to life? Would there be life without language?
Ask all the dogs and cats. Ask all the birds.
Dogs and cats communicate.
Yes, they do.
Even if a dog walks up to a cat and woofs at it, for example, it's trying to communicate something, even if it's like lost in translation.
Communication is necessary. Communication is absolutely.
All right,
Language isn't.
So what's the difference then? I don't know. It's a bit of a weird
Communication is an inherent understanding of a situation, of a thing. Language is conceptual. Language is based off of a series of concepts and predefined notions, and that is why, for example, in quite a lot of other languages, you have to understand like the concepts and the terms of those people, as well as understanding the language itself. They coexist.
Do you not think some language is inherent to reality, though? Say, for example, if you point to a location and say "the," right, and I don't know what the word for "there" is in like French or whatever, but there's a sort of like, you know, a common word that can be translated. Do you not think that's inherent to reality itself?
You could just as easily point at a map and say nothing at all and communicate the exact same message. It's not necessary. Don't fool yourself and think it is.
So you just want everyone to be mute, basically, is what you're saying.
I want people to understand the labels that they throw around in public spaces before they start throwing them around.
No. Yeah, I was just sort of playing a bit of devil's advocate, but I do agree, you know, like a lot of you know, the sort of like political discourse on Twitter and like the internet and stuff is just this watered down nonsense, really, where people just throwing around these like slogans and words that were coined hundreds of years ago in some cases, and in many ways they don't really like reflect the times very well. Like I've said this before, but I really hate the notion of like right wing and left wing, because if you say, for example, that you're not left wing, then that automatically makes you right wing, because to a left wing person, anyone that isn't on the team, so to speak, or within their orientation necessarily is like protecting the right wing system as they see it. So I hate that because it creates like an us and them scenario, which is almost like cult like. You know, it's like saying it's like calling someone a heretic or whatever, a blasphemer, just like religious.
And speaking of that, actually, that is actually the perfect segue into
wait, hold on, wait. Oh, okay, yeah, I thought you were gonna go somewhere else. But yeah, go on.
No. Fantano's tweet: conservatives are not fun, creative, smart, empathetic, or interesting. That's why they don't make good art. Their art sucks. Period.
So
will never come from the right ever. It hasn't so far.
Wait, come on. Let's read it properly, because I'm not even following you here. Go and read that out properly.
That's conservatives.
No, but like I fucking like missed half the tweet because you started doing a stupid voice.
That's the passive aggressivism that's like laced into this.
All right, okay, go on, just do it a bit lighter then. Go and read it out so I can actually hear it.
It's not fun, creative.
Right, no, your audio is glitching. Go on, try it again. Fuck's sake.
Conservatives are not fun, creative, smart, empathetic, or interesting. That's why they don't make great art. Their art sucks ass, period. The next great, in quotations, will never come from the right.
Did he give any examples?
It hasn't so far. So why should it ever in the future?
Did he give
That's
any
the length and
examples?
breadth of his tweets. No examples. That's the fullest of it.
So you know what? In a way, I'd actually agree with him. Actually, no. There's one part I disagree with. Like the notion of it being good or not is something where I disagree. The idea of it being new or not, I'd sort of agree. Like conservatism is like about retaining traditions and not not allowing something new. But then this is the funny thing in this regard. Like, what is conservative today? It's obviously not like what conservative was 20, 30 years ago. Like today's conservatives, in my opinion, are the I guess more like people who would call themselves left wing in many ways. Like not all leftists, but because like even the phrase left embodies so many different different ideologies and such. But the types I mean, like the people who like harp on with like cancel culture. That's like classic conservatism if you think about it. So like these are our modern conservatives, the sort of like liberal progressive type. That to me is like a conservative today. They're the new like arbiters of the sort of culture.
What's acceptable in their society and what's not.
Right, yeah. So like I sort of agree that those people can't make anything interesting, and that's why they sit on Twitter moaning about how music is politics all day and shit.
Anyone that affixes politics to music perhaps might want to be interested in the idea of not fucking labels so much.
Yeah, so like let me revisit this point. We'll rewind back from Fantano now. So I agree with Fantano, but like he probably disagreed that I think liberal progressives are the new conservatives. Like these are the act like if you think about like evangelical Christians in America in the 90s, for example, who were terrified of like metal and such rap music. Like these people are quite the same. Like they like to police morality and as I say like act as the arbiters of what's acceptable and not. Anyway, so to rewind back to this other point then is like music inherently political. Like I actually do understand and sympathise with the point itself, but I think music actually precedes the political itself and actually creates it in a way. Because music waits there for us to find it before we can actually find it. So like for example, I always use this example, but Moonlight Sonata by Beethoven, like everyone knows that song. That piece of music is, in the ether, so to speak, and anyone can play it. But it existed that in that regard, it existed prior to Beethoven even being able to play it himself on a piano.
I see what you're getting at.
Right, so in this sense, like music, because it's the nature of music is sort of like transcendent. It's like beyond, animal. It's like it waits for us and it clearly has lured humans towards itself, almost like a hypnotist. So we only become political because of music in the first place. We evolve from animals to humans because of music. Like it's music that creates that transcendence for us to sort of climb towards.
Oh, okay. As soon as you said the statement that it's music that makes us political, that's where you lost me completely.
No, well, all right. Let me try and explain. So, what do I mean when I say political? I mean like let's differentiate between humans and animals, right? Like the word political comes from like the Greek word polis, which means city. So political. Don't you remember all this chatting to TDLMX about this stuff a few years ago on Canvas actually? Anyway,
I do, but
like we got
have
into
this discussion with you now.
No, yeah. No, it's just like kind of funny how it circled back around to this exact point again. So the word um politics etymologically comes from polis, which is a Greek word meaning like city or state. So politics is essentially like the affairs of the state. Um,
Mm.
and that the idea of the state or the city or anything of that, or even the community or anything of that nature, can only come about um, due to a sort of like evolution from animal nature towards something higher.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
like
guess I'm with you so far.
in my opinion, it's music that has brought us from the animal state to this sort of like transcendent human state. Because if you the if you look into like music and animals, like animals actually don't respond to music, especially not harmony. They don't understand harmony. Well, this is just like
Hmm.
what some scientific tests have shown. Um,
Yeah,
on the other hand,
but like
there's some tests that have shown like plants respond to music. So I think like music affects us on like a sensory deeper level, but I mean like I'm talking about like the brain like being able to process it, if that makes sense. Like
yeah.
humans have a specific part of the brain that can process music in a way that like chimpanzees can't. So um I don't like to like rely on science though for like making claims and such, because I prefer to like think of it in terms of philosophy and stuff, I guess. But
Now
um
that you've presented it in a sort of scientific term, though, I get what you're going for.
yeah, but
Um,
like even so, and like it, you know people say like birds sing, but do they really? They don't really sing as such. They just sort of make weird noises that sound kind of
it's a
like
method of
musical to us.
communication for them.
Right, yeah, and it sounds kind of like musical to us in a way, but then that's us like we're subjectifying them and making them say we're saying like, oh, that's music, 'cause like it sounds like music to us because we're like musical creatures. So that like what I'm trying to say is like music is what defines humans away from animals more than pretty much anything else. Like we're a musical creature.
Do you mean like the appreciation, or do you mean the creation, or do you
Just
mean both?
both, yeah. Like I don't know, just like on a deeper like level, like humans are musical in a way that animals aren't, and that's what distinguishes us, in my opinion, from animals. So, in my opinion, like if you compare like a human society to a gorilla society, for example, like a gorilla society, it does have some things in common with a human society. Like they'll have a leader figure. Um,
They'll have
you
politics.
must. Yeah. They have like fights over females, like who's going to be the worthy male for to impregnate the female, all that kind of stuff. And then you've got like the beta males who get left in the forest to die and all that kind of shit. So like there's
Mhm.
like animals have their community. What they don't have is like what humans have, which is this greater sort of complex um city or state or whatever. Like we have the
Mm.
city, the state, because we've transcended towards that. So
Okay, but
that
I don't see how that development is specifically related to music.
because what I'm saying is it's like music that um like think of it in terms of evolution, like and the brain. To have a brain go from say like a fish to a reptile to a chimpanzee to a human, like
Mhm.
clearly there's a if you there's sort of like a gradating level there that you can say like one's more you know um
Conscious than the other.
yeah, conscious, intelligent, all these kind of things. um and in my opinion it's like music is the thing that has lured us towards itself in that regard. Like music is the transcendent sort of like ideal that exists there for us to discover.
So music promotes consciousness, and as such, that improvement of that consciousness is what fosters politics.
No, music, like think of like a chord, right? So like
Yes.
take the chord C major, so it's like
Uh-huh.
C. Can't even get my pen. C E G. So C E G,
Uh-huh.
right? So if you had three sort of like beings that were pre-human, all going like that, but then they were sort
Uh-huh.
of like syncing their voices into different tones until they like eventually got it into a C major chord. That's a sort of like a scientific discovery, especially if they keep repeating it and repeating it until it becomes knowledge. Then that's a sort of like scientific discovery that music can be extrapolated from. So music exists already before human, and it's like that induces the evolution, the discovery.
I get you.
Right, right. So
Okay.
music's the transcendent ideal that exists already before humans even exist, and sort of waits for humans. Because like
And then
thinking
we
it
discovered that.
right, like distinguishing humans separate from animal as like this sort of like transcendent being in the world that animals aren't. So that's why I would say like music precedes politics. Like politics only arrives from music. But you know, I can't fit all this in on a tweet, so I can't really get my shit in, so to speak, as they say in wrestling. See, this is the
Do you
problem
think
with
it's
like
possible?
this is the problem with Twitter. It's like all you can do is post slogans, which is why it actually like to come back to this other point about left and right and all this nonsense. Like that's what induces this stupid us and them like way of thinking because of like this sort of short sloganeering and such.
Mm.
So that makes sense. So yeah, I don't I don't say I'm like left or right. I just don't like I don't agree with the concept, like you said about names and labels and such.
Okay, now I'm with you. So,
Yeah.
we spent half an hour covering one headline and we've got 7 more.
yeah, go on. What's next?
So we cover some other shit.
yeah. Go on.
White Banshee released his last single for this year.
Yep, that's out now. Go and check
It's
it
so
out.
sad.
Did you
I'll
hear it?
miss him. I did actually. 15 minutes.
Yeah. What
Wow. That is. It was quite the journey.
What you
I'd
eating?
say.
What you eating?
Eating a burger.
Burger.
Try to get it in while I
Wait,
was
we've
in
been
the
on
middle
a
of the podcast.
been on a podcast for 25 minutes, and I'm just finding out you've had a burger this whole time.
Yeah, I just had it sitting there. I was just waiting. I tried to sneak it
So
in
you
while I was
gotta
on mute.
freeze
Didn't work out.
Freezing cold burger.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, new White Banshee single is out. It's his last of 2021 on the Drink Cat Evo YouTube at youtube.com/drinkcatalogue. But actually, he did finish a song with Sangam that will be coming out in a few weeks too. So look out for that. So I guess that it's the second to last, really.
What else have we got? No Problema put out a bunch of new tapes, including Sleepo Center, which is one of yours.
Yeah, this one's interesting too, because I just, tonight on Twitter, I said, what is this new movement, Dream Tone? It just looks like a knockoff of Dream Punk. I hadn't really looked into it properly, so I was just sort of like, reacting to it, not really giving it a proper time and consideration. But then, like, someone replied and said, basically, the idea of Dream Tone is it's like music to sleep to. Sort of like futuristic synth ambient. So it's sort of like, I guess, in a way, a subgenre of dream punk, in a way. But then someone else pointed out that my Sleep Center tape on No Problema Tapes is tagged as dream tone. And I didn't request that, so like I didn't even really know about this stuff, to be honest, until recently. And but essentially, like the idea of dream tone actually comes from Sleep Center. Funnily enough, you and your burger though.
So you yet again made a new genre without even like.
Yeah. I made another new genre. So it's like the idea of dream tone is like like sort of futuristic dream punkish music to sleep to. Obviously, the big one is Virtual Dream Plaza, but that's the funny thing. Like Virtual Dream Plaza, it was Telepath. He got really inspired by Sleep Center when it first came out in 2014. So like for people who don't know, Sleep Center's like an 8-hour sleep album that I made in 2014, and this was before the concept of like sleep music really even existed. So because a sort of industry artist called Max Richter, he put out a sleep album like a year after I did, which pissed me off. Cause I felt
to
like
that
he
album
ripped off
quite a
my
few
idea.
times.
Oh, have you? Yeah? What,
Back
Max
in
Richter's one or my one?
No, yours.
Oh,
I
good.
slept to that quite a lot
was
in
gonna
like 2015-ish.
have a go then.
No, I've slept to Max Richter's hundreds of times. I don't even know what your sleep.
Yeah, if you sleep to if you sleep to Max Richter's, you'll have nightmares. No, you know what's funny? You know what's funny about Sleep Center? Like a lot of people say they have like proper weird dreams when they sleep to it, and I've only ever slept to it once in my life actually, and like as a sort of test run, and I actually had really strange dreams too, and Telepath also did. So
yeah, I do too. That's actually quite a lot of the weird abstractness of like Amiga Tech actually came from was like. No, hang on, that wasn't Amiga Tech. It would have been, which would have been around that time when I was falling asleep to it. It would have been Release. Yeah. It would have been Release. Yeah, it would have been Release. So quite a lot of the weirder parts are there.
Did you even know it was me then? Because I didn't even.
I did not actually. Like quite a lot of this when. Like a lot of these aliases I've just learnt like over time, and sometimes I just go on your Discord and I'm like, oh my fucking god.
Yeah, so there's a whole movement now called Dream Tone, which is interesting. I sort of like made the catty remark about it because I just presumed it was like dream punk, but like trying to say like we make dream punk, but we hate HK, if you know what I mean. that's what my perception of it was at first, but no, I was wrong about that. I guess it's like music to sleep to, but obviously like Telepath's like the master of it with Virtual Dream Plaza, like that's where the whole like movement sort of is born, I guess, because that project was so influential.
I think that I might actually load up Sleep Center again tonight and see what happens.
Yeah, I might do it as well, because like I haven't slept to it in 7 years, I guess, because it's
5 years over here, so yeah.
Might give it a shot, see what it's all about. But yeah, the the news item itself was that the tapes are on sale now from No Problema Tapes, which is kind of funny because it's meant to be like an 8-hour album to sleep to. So like I thought of the idea, it could be like power naps versions, because you can't fit 8 hours on a cassette, obviously. So it's like a little, it's like a box set. So it's like you can have power naps at different parts of the thing. But I guess it's just, at the end of the day, it's just like a collector's item, limited edition thing for people who are into that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next up we've got Livewire. They've relaunched and they're dropping a Chessmaster album on CD.
Yeah, it was kind of like an understated relaunch. Well, the thing is, it's not even a relaunch, it's a launch. Like Nicole literally like launched Livewire as a record label. Which, Livewire was like the hottest thing in 2020, especially after the 2 festivals. And then it seemed like it was going places, and then it just sort of like faded into the shadows for a long time. But now Nicole's bringing it back as a record label. It's actually, if you go onto the Bandcamp, there's already 3 releases there. It's the 3 releases that were on End of Dream, which was... that was supposed to be a label Nicole and I were going to run, but I sort of like dipped out of it. I wasn't, I didn't really, I don't know, I just didn't work out. But I think it's for the best. I think it's for the best, right? Because like, I think Nicole having Livewire is like, just another solid label in the scene will be really good. Nicole's run loads of labels in the past, so he knows what he's doing, and he's always got a great eye for detail and great ear for tunes and stuff. So I think it'll be a solid addition to the whole dream punk scene.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of new labels coming up as of late, but the one thing that always stood out to me about Nicole and his sort of presentation was just how like fucking crisp
Yeah.
and clean his artwork was. So I'm hoping that this new Livewire label
No,
just it
you know,
stands out above the pack with that just
yeah,
quality, just absolute
I would
quality.
I would say like in the past few years, like Nicole's influence on aesthetic has been more influential on Dream Punk than pretty much anyone else for sure. Like he's the like lead visionary in that regard. Um, you know, everyone else has got their own ideas. Of course, we do too. But you know, Nicole's it's always like ahead of the game in many ways with that stuff.
Definitely seems like a lot of labels have been drawing inspiration. Like that focus on the label, that one in particular, that stood out to me as like being quite heavily Nicole influenced. There's a few others too where it's like that influence, and on when I was doing Providence Instinct as well, just the competition from Nicole, woof,
What
even
happened
being
to
in the same
Providence
ballpark.
Instinct?
We don't talk about that. Bitcoin went over 60K. Now
Yeah.
you own a decent amount of Bitcoin.
I don't own any Bitcoin.
I thought you did.
No, I check Bitcoin every day because Bitcoin sort of like guides the crypto market, and I'm interested in crypto.
Right.
But I actually don't own any Bitcoin itself.
So you just keep an eye on it to see where it goes.
Yeah, because it's important.
Like the rest of
Because
us.
if Bitcoin went from 60K to 30K overnight, which isn't impossible, like things like that can happen in crypto, the whole market itself would tank too. So Bitcoin is like, it's the most influential project in the whole crypto space. So, it's more than just following the price for an investment or whatever. It's like, the whole crypto space sort of relies on Bitcoin in a way. The whole ecosystem is built around it.
Mm.
But yeah, the fact it went over 60K, actually over 61K. Actually, let me just pull up the price right now and I'll check. Shit, it's at 62K now. So it's at 62K, and I think that might be the highest price it's ever been actually, and that's why it's significant basically because, if it goes over its all-time high price, which was set in May or April, I think, at 62K roughly, then it's most likely going to rocket upwards.
But did Max Kaiser say something about it getting to like 210K by the end of the year or something?
Yeah, so Max Kaiser's like a sort of like economist kind of guy, finance guy. He presents a show on RT, and he's been on there for like 10 years or more.
My favorite news network.
Yeah, he was like shilling Bitcoin when it was like worth $1 basically. Now
Yeah, he was advocating for Bitcoin back in like 2000.
Yeah, he was like the earliest like popular face of the whole movement. Yeah, but he always makes a prediction at the beginning of every year. Last year he predicted, I think it was like 48K or something, and he pretty much got there around about early January. So he was like almost spot on. At the beginning of this year, he predicted Bitcoin would hit 220K, I think it was, or 210K by the end of the year. And if Bitcoin is breaking its all-time high today, that's definitely feasible by the end of the year. So wow. Exciting times for the crypto space. Like crypto in general, this year is just it's starting to reach like outside of geek territory, like like outside of computer geek and outside of like finance people and such. It's starting to get to like artists now with NFTs. Obviously, like 2 people in our scene, well 3 actually. There's Music, who's obviously been on this podcast several times in the past and talked about NFTs and crypto with us. He's been doing good stuff in that space. Akua Visuals is another one. He's on the come off right now. And Pixel, he's actually like blown up in the NFT space like big time. Like he did an NFT for Tyson Fury for his fight last weekend. That's how big he's gotten.
Holy shit!
Yeah, so he's literally like, we got Dream Catalogue artists making NFTs for like fucking main event heavyweight boxers. So
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, like he's having mad success. Yeah, for real. Yeah. But yeah, it's just like NFTs has totally transformed the art world big time this year. We've talked about it before in the past. It's really cool evolution that's going on right now. And that's what we like here, Evo evolution.
Evil.
Evo.
We're almost out of here with these headlines.
Yeah,
Two more to go.
Well, no way. This, I guess we could say this particular news segment has been news plus conversation. So it's two segments in one.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, so we can skip the conversation segment this week. Just go straight to the demos.
Hell yeah.
All right.
So, more things. No agreements. They launched a sub-label called Plasterfay. Not sure what's up with that name, but they
it makes sense. Like they're getting a lot bigger now, so that tends to be the case of labels. When they get bigger, they end up putting out a sub-label. Just sort of the way things go.
Curious to see where that goes. And lastly, fucking Squid Games. Everyone's talking about
Here we
Squid
go.
Games.
It's another 20-minute conversation.
Here we go. Another 20-minute conversation. I hope your coffee and croissants are still piping hot.
How many episodes have you seen of it?
There's 9 total, right? I've seen 4.
So do you want me to just fucking spoil the whole show on you right now while I talk about it?
No.
So do you want to talk about it next week then?
I mean, I want to talk about like the sort of like social economic effect that Squid Games has had, because it's weird watching everyone sort of.
I'll try and do it without giving spoilers, and next week we'll give a spoiler review.
Yeah, but the one thing that I do want to cover is more the social aspect of it, because it seems like what with everyone descending on it and everyone focusing on it and making it a part of their culture.
Yeah, it's a crazy.
I've seen a lot of people who like are almost like pretending that they were part of the show, or like trying to like in Saudi Arabia, for example, there's a version of Squid Games that you can play, but instead of it being real guns, there's Nerf guns.
Right, yeah, so it wasn't it in Dubai actually.
Yeah,
right, yeah.
The shoes that the players wear in Squid Games, the price of those shoes went up 1,700% after the show aired.
Right, like probably a lot of people buying Halloween costumes.
Exactly, you're gonna see shitloads of Squid Games on that in Halloween. Like people are gonna come at your door with fucking like.
Well, you know what I'll say. You know what I'll say. I really liked about it without giving any spoilers. Like we'll do a proper detailed review and analysis next week. We'll make that our conversation segment or whatever. We need a name for that segment. We just sort of have like that fucking third segment in the middle of the show that we never know what's called.
A deep analytical review.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I think one really interesting thing to me about Squid Games, and it's not just because it's Asian. It's because it's got like a very anime-like feeling to it. And the reason I say that is because like the sort of firstly just the setting is very like absurd and almost like cartoonish. It's not, it's like it's very unrealistic, let's say. I mean it's like presented in a realistic way, but it's like something that would never actually happen. And it's got like that.
You say that.
Yeah, maybe it does happen. Yeah, it's got like this vivid, like color to it and such. And it's also like the really like distinguished sort of almost like soap opera kind of characters and acting as well. But I wouldn't go as far as to say it's like a soap opera, which is why it sort of reminds me more a bit like anime. sort of like Death Note, I guess. You know, that has really like distinguished like over the top characters.
Yeah.
And sort of like, I don't know. It probably is because it's Asian a bit as well that it's making me, you know, think it's got a sort of like anime feel to it. But anyway, it's just like the mood and such. Even though it's obviously it's not Japanese, it's Korean. But I think like, you know, what's interesting to me about why it's popular is because like, if you look at like the trends of especially like Western like film and TV and such, I think like a lot of people just have lost interest in it because it's been the same kind of like boring, like everything's trying to be like HBO, you know, binge series with all these kind of like quote unquote realistic characters and realistic acting.
It all just blends together and becomes like a mess.
Yeah, I just think like, you know, it's boring, and it's like this Squid Games comes along and it's like really over the top and like vivid and crazy, and it's like so much more refreshing. So like it's even like transcends the language barrier, and like, you know, regular people are watching it, and like regular people don't usually watch stuff where they have to read subtitles. It's sort of like anathema to them. So that aspect's really interesting to me too. But yeah, I just think it's just that aspect of it's so refreshing to the whole culture. It's just kind of like, you know, interesting that it would be this show of all things. But then again, you know, Netflix, I think they're sort of like experts at viral advertising too. I think that, you know, they do it every single year. There's like some new show on Netflix that like everyone's got to see. Usually I don't bother watching them because like I reckon they all look pretty shit. But I watched Squid Games and I really liked it actually. But I'll tell you why I liked it next week. Yeah, I'll tell you why I liked it next week.
Well, so far I can tell you that I am very much liking it.
Where are you up to now? Episode 4.
So we've just started.
Wait! Don't give any spoilers because other people might want to watch it, and then they can come back and hear our review next week.
All right. Well, we finally got to the end of the news.
Yeah, news slash. We need a fucking name. A discussion segment. There you go. News / discussion.
Fantastic. And now we've got a track.
What is it?
We have DCT with Skyquake.
The fuck? Why'd you have to introduce the tunes like that? Right,
it's Skyquake by DCT. It's fucking amazing. Listen to it now.
Have you even heard it?
No.
Alright, you can listen to it right now. So this is Skyquake by DCT off Futuro Buzziano, and we're going to have an interview with Buttermilk, the head of that label, right after this.
I did only copy almost read
All right, our next guest is a real fucking Satanist bastard. He's a real piece of shit. Ladies and gentlemen, Butsamet is here with us on Canvas. How you doing, you fucking asshole?
I'm all right, dickhead.
Hold on, but
So
voice sounds
explain.
quite familiar to me.
Yeah, hang on a moment. Who are you, mister?
I go by many names, just like the devil himself.
Oh,
I go
fuck.
by Shinatama and many other names. I own a dream, and I am now Butsamet.
Holy shit. So what warrants the name change? What justifies becoming Butsamet? What is the new direction, so to speak?
Well, it's in all of our new upcoming future essentially. Me and Lucid have talked about many things, and one of them is this concept of the Butsian future, where people have replaced the typical gods of old, Odin, Allah, Yahweh, Big G himself, with new gods. Gods are not ultimately maybe necessarily better, but new gods nonetheless, like franchises, brands,
Galactus.
McDonald's, things like this. And the person who epitomizes this concept most is this YouTuber. I think what was his name? Eric Butts, I think it was.
Yeah, Eric
wasn't
Butts.
Aye, he really likes the Star Wars. So that's where the term Butsy
the one
comes
who
from.
cried over the Star Wars trailers, sort of a viral meme a couple of years ago.
Ah, I remember him.
Yeah.
Aye, it
So
was
you
like
basically
pretty
started an entire cult around this guy.
It's a bit more.
I guess
it's a bit more
he's sort
nuanced
of-
than that.
yeah. I guess he's sort of like a Jesus figure to this new religion, like a messiah.
Oh, I definitely the Butsian movement. Aye, we love him to
Yeah.
bits. But aye,
So it's an
kind of like
entire religion.
it's a rip on Orwellian. The term Orwellian, whereas obviously you've got your Orwellian futures, which are always dystopian, but we've got a Butsian future where everyone's like masturbating and talking shit about Star Wars and Star Trek and the
Galactus.
MCU and stuff like that. Galactus, aye.
So you're
it's a rip on
you're basically just describing Dream Punk Record Club at this point. You started
yeah.
a cult dedicated to blatant rampant consumerism. Okay, well, you know what? If this is a religion, you've got to convince me. What are some of the beliefs of the Butsian religion? Come on.
We believe that consumerism is the way forward, essentially, that worshipping products is essentially, since morality is fluid anyway, gender is fluid and all this kind of stuff, we now believe that essentially morality is fluid as well. And as such, we should be able to worship products and worship brands like McDonald's and stuff, and worship.
Okay. So if someone comes up to you in the street and they shoot you with a gun, is morality fluid then, or are they like objectively evil and are you objectively good? Likewise for being shot, or is that like
it really?
that?
It really
That's
depends
up
on
to
your morality,
perspective.
isn't it? Because morality is fluid, essentially. So if you're worshiping the right person, then that could probably be gotten away with. Essentially.
So if you worship the shooter, then the person doing the shooting is fine. That's
Well,
no
it depends
problem.
Yeah, pretty much. If you worship someone like maybe one of those incel freaks, or
So what are some other beliefs of the Butsian religion?
see that this is because we're so fluid and stuff like that, and
You don't
people
really
we
have any
worship-
beliefs.
No, we're quite what's the term again? Like I said, we're very, very, very fluid, essentially. So, given the right context, you can worship anything, essentially.
So what about
Okay.
music-wise? Is the music fluid too? Will there be like a multiple manner of?
Well,
different styles on the
we're also a
label?
bit of a death cult at the same time. We're also a bit of a death cult at the same time. We believe that
Okay.
the end of the world is incoming, essentially. That through all this fluidity and all this through all this chaos, essentially, that we're heading towards the singularity, the end of music, the end of art, the end of civilization. So essentially, and in considering all this, essentially, our music is also going to be end of music, and we're going
Nice.
our music's going to be rotated around these post music concepts, essentially. So that's what we're going to push.
So if I wanted to worship anything, it doesn't matter what it is, what it isn't. Like if I wanted to worship, for example, this mat that I've got my drink resting on right now, this kangaroo mat that I've got, that'd be fine under the Buttsian kind of belief system, would it?
It'd be encouraged as well, yeah.
Oh, it'd be encouraged.
Oh.
So, is there
That's
anything
what
that's discouraged?
Anything, I think it's time we discarded the old gods. So, well, Dave likes Yahweh, so we can get rid of him, I personally think. Get rid of Muhammad, get rid of Odin, Osiris, and all these gods of old. We need the gods of the new. We need Demi Lovato. That's one we need. We like her a lot. We need her. She's great. Just these characters, yeah.
Will Demi Lovato be making an appearance on the record label?
If she wishes to do so, we will treat her with the respect she deserves.
Nice.
Which is to say, very little. So, can I keep my Buddha, please? I need my Buddha.
Buddha? No, I'm not a big fan of Buddha.
Oh, please, come on, let me keep Buddha.
I mean,
come
I personally wouldn't say I'm an advocate of Buttsianism, personally. You know, I'm someone who reps Yahweh quite a lot on Twitter. Or Hashem, as I'm supposed to say. You're not meant to say it out loud.
Okay, but here's the problem, right? Because I'm ready to convert to this Buttsian future thing. Because here's the thing, right? Here's the ultimate truth of the matter, right? Yahweh isn't cool. Okay, you know what's cool?
Hold
BTS.
on, I thought you were a Christian. Oh wait, are you?
BTS are great.
Yeah, BTS are like definitely up there in the pantheons of Buttsianism.
Are you denouncing Christianity now?
Blackpink's another.
I am denouncing this idea that we can't add more gods to the pile. I mean, I think the Greeks had the right idea. They had like a god for everything. Why not have a god for every aspect of consumerism? You know, we can have a god of, overplayed Radio 1 drill music, and that could be Stormzy. We can have a god of shitty vaporwave, that can be George Clanton. You know, we've got all these kinds of aspects for people to become modern day demigods. So why are we rejecting this?
Speaking of demigods, I was actually watching rewatching Akira last night, and you know that is actually, you know, the concept of Akira or Tetsuo in the film is sort of like a demigod of sorts who, you know, his power grows to such an extent that he can essentially, you know, bend the universe. Yeah, but then it, you know, it starts to bend the universe to his will. I guess Akira is more the demigod in this sense because he manages to control the energy, whereas Tetsuo gets overtaken by it. But yeah, pretty cool film.
Yeah, I haven't watched that in a few years. I might actually rewatch it.
I did you notice I changed my Twitter avatar to a picture of Akira?
I noticed, yeah.
Yeah, that's me. I'm Akira.
That's actually a picture of you.
Yeah, it's the Akira era now.
So, I'm trying to think...
You just totally no-sold my joke there, the Akira era. To be fair, I actually got that off Craig. He came up with that earlier today.
Ah, I see.
Flap Tetsuo, wasn't it?
Flap Tetsuo, yeah, that was it. Flap Tetsuo.
So I see you two are both quite enjoying this kind of idea of just being able to make gods and demigods out of thin air. Do you think that when Ra and Odin come back and they see the things that you're doing, do you think they're going to be happy with this?
Yeah, well, who made Ra and Odin? That's the thing. Why can't we make gods? Why do we have to worship the gods that someone invented like 3,000 years ago?
Aye, especially considering they're so relevant. Do you think any of them have heard of the true modern conflicts of our time, like Coke versus Pepsi? I don't think they have any bearing on our time, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
But what is the Buttsian god that represents the war between Coke and Pepsi? Because there must be some kind of... Would it be perhaps Michael Jackson, the way he danced in the Pepsi commercial? Would that be a good representation? I'm trying to think of like the current...
more of an 80s god or demigod of sorts.
Yeah.
I think the Coke itself could be seen as a god, really, because some people have Pepsi tattoos and Coke tattoos. They obviously like Coke and Pepsi an awful lot.
I have a T-shirt of my god in my cupboard. I have T-shirts of all my gods. I wear them,
Well, who's your
and
god?
I change. Right now, well, what T-shirt am I wearing? Let's see. I'm wearing a T-shirt of Los Angeles. So Los Angeles is my god.
Well, there you go. Like in the past, see, this is the kind of like absurdity of today's world. In the past, people would have worn like a cross around their neck and such, and what they worn other than clothes, like what they would have represented in their clothes, is sort of their affiliation to religion and who they worship and such. Religious garments. Today we wear clothes with our new idols on, such as Michael Jackson, who you just mentioned, or whoever else. I've got a Light Yagami T-shirt, so I guess he's one of my gods.
So when you create a HK T-shirt and you sell it to someone, are you asking someone to become a devout worshipper of you?
In a sense, yeah.
I've got a Sangam hoodie as well, so that's so I'm not.
So you're worshipping. Sangam is literally your god. There you go.
Yeah, Sangam's like the master of rain. He's like the god of rain. So that's not a bad god.
Yeah, he's pretty much the god of rain. So that's fine. Rain does good things at least.
Yeah, and I'm the god of fire.
And I'm the god of, I don't know, something cool. I'm gonna think of something cool now. I want to claim something cool. I don't want to be a lame ass god. Now that I can be a god, I'm open to the possibilities. Fire. Yeah, I know. I've got to think of something unique in that front.
Are you a god?
I'll get back to you, but I will.
Well, I guess you are a god, aren't you, Buttermat? So what are you the god of?
I'm the god of gods, essentially.
God of gods. So you're
the
overarching rule.
So you're the Zeus at the top of the.
Yeah. we are the conceivers of the Buttsian movement, essentially. So without me, there wouldn't be an option to choose your gods, essentially. So in this scenario, I am the gods of gods. Yes.
No, I actually do think this is an interesting concept. I was just having a conversation with someone recently about Final Fantasy VII and about how I actually see like the mythology of Final Fantasy VII to be more sort of impactful and emotionally present throughout my life than something like if I read into like a Greek mythological tale, like that doesn't have the same emotional weight or impact on me as Final Fantasy VII did to me as like a child. So that I find that quite interesting, actually, how the sort of mythological tales that shape our childhood are the ones that stay with us throughout our lives. And in this sense, like Cloud Strife is more of a god to me than Prometheus, for example.
For sure, but a lot of these stories are actually are derived from kind of well, in essence, they're all just rehashes of the same old stories, essentially, from mythological times,
right?
And stuff like that, isn't it? Really? So
yeah, it's like
good
like what is
evil?
Yeah,
Osiris
right.
versus
Definitely.
Seth, and all this kind of stuff.
Like if you think of what a story is, I guess it's like poetry. It's sort of going deep within, the nature of this reality and discerning something about it, and then bringing it back into a story. I guess it's kind of a hard subject to really go into, and I'm not really feeling too philosophical right now to get into it. But yeah, I definitely, like what's the story of like Cloud Strife in Final Fantasy VII? It's about a rediscovery of self, and like if you think about Cloud when he starts the game, essentially he's sort of indifferent to everything, and he's only in it for the money and so on. And then it's like within the rediscovery of himself when he's in the live stream that he sort of finds his true essence that was hidden behind these layers of like Genova and Zack and such. And when he finds his
chaos and evil, I guess.
Right, yeah, and when he finds his true self within, he rises to become a champion of sorts. So that in itself is just like a Greek mythological tale, or even a Christian biblical tale of sorts. Like all these ancient tales sort of go into the same kind of themes over and over, which guide our reality and our morality.
Didn't Tifa play a role in rebuilding Cloud, if I'm right, in that respect? Because
Right,
that's
yeah,
another,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
another that's another common theme in mythology. You'll have like a female god that rebuilds a male god after being
Yeah, the masculine
killed
and
or
the
something like
feminine and
that.
such, yeah.
Mhm.
I think it's quite
It's quite
interesting.
Unless
We have
unless you're
these really-
Baphomet is both male and female. So I guess
Indeed.
Butsamet
He
is
just
as well.
rebuilds himself.
Yeah.
It's very interesting that we keep having these recursive themes throughout our literature. Like even over like thousands of years, we have all these sort of recurring concepts and ideas. So I think an interesting question I want to segue into is what differentiates like piece of like creative work and a piece of like holy religious work. Is there any difference there at all, or is everything like I think like just on top of like gods?
You know
and this
what I
idea
would
that you can,
say
like,
the
create
big
gods?
difference is, actually? You know what I would say the big difference is there is sort of like repetition, ritual, and tradition. So if you think about like Final Fantasy VII again, right? If we pass that tale down to our children and they pass it down to their children and so on throughout the generations, eventually that would become a sort of mythology, especially if it becomes detached from its roots. In the same sense, I think that's true of, you know, these other tales. Like if you think of what's the oldest story, or like one of the oldest stories is Homer's the Iliad, and you know Homer is speculated to be, you know, not just one poet, but a sort of, you know, a string of poets over
Collective.
the ages. Yeah, like a collection of like stories and mythologies that sort of get sequenced together, perhaps by someone called Homer within, you know, in that ancient Greek time. And then that's passed down over the years and it becomes like, you know, mythos and such. I don't know, like I'm not too educated on this subject, but these are just sort of my thoughts and I guess intuitions about it.
Can Final Fantasy VII become a religion?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, definitely. I would say so. I think there's some people that
I'd
treat
say
it as
it's-
such
yeah.
already.
Yeah, I treat it as a religion. No, actually,
Sorry,
No,
some
you need to
people
put
are
that on
really
Twitter right now.
obsessed with it.
No,
You need to put
no,
that right now. My religion is
Shima,
Final
if
Fantasy
you,
VII.
if you've been reading, I fucking tweeted it like 3 days ago, so,
Oh,
maybe
but
you need
did
to
you?
keep it. Yeah, I did, yeah. I said
Shit.
Cloud Strife is my
Okay.
idol.
Okay, but that's not the same as saying my religion is Final
Well, it
Fantasy
is.
VII. That's two different.
No, it is. Like I said,
Oh.
I said I read into all the I read into all the great religions, history, philosophy, and such. But at the end of the day, Cloud Strife is my idol.
History, philosophy, Final Fantasy VII,
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
all on the same level. And I think that's the main thing about the Butzianism that's quite interesting is that, like, the playing fields levels, there's no priority. There's no, like, art form or medium that's above anything else. And as such, you can conceptualize what god you want, and you can...
But what if
kind
your
of,
god
like-
is a god that sees himself above everyone else? Then is it Butzian or not? See, that's the sort of conundrum of Butzianism. But I guess
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess that's the anathema to Buttsism, I guess. And you know who represents that, actually, now that I think about it? Sephiroth.
Sephiroth. Yeah, I guess in a way. Yeah.
There's got to be some article out there that's been published, like, tying every aspect of Final Fantasy VII to, like, Christian Bible or something.
It probably explains
Well,
why
yeah,
some
there's a
people
lot-
have that kind of religious experience while watching these things as well. We referred to Eric Butts at the start of this podcast. Essentially,
Yeah.
he was having a profound religious experience while watching that.
Right, yeah,
so-
he really
and
was,
that-
yeah.
and there
It's
will
like
be
he'd
people that
seen
have
the
done the same
Virgin
with Final
Mary.
Fantasy.
Yeah. No, I can,
He
you know,
dropped down.
I would say, you know, Final Fantasy VII has definitely a profound, like, emotional impact as a story. I guess the difference between a story and a religion then is almost like one of belief in a way. Like, you know, it's like it's, you know, that old wrestling thing. It's still real to me, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the impression, Shima? Because you can probably do it better.
Still real to me.
Yeah. So no, but it is quite the same thing if you think of it in like wrestling terms. Like if you believe wrestling is real, you watch it in a completely different way than someone who like knows it's not real.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
in that same sense, it's the same with like stories and religions. I guess it's like how real do you want it to be? And I guess like you can't build yourself up into believing it's quote unquote real, whatever that means.
Yeah, for sure, of course, yeah. And
So
I suppose
in a way,
George
in a
Child
that
as well.
yeah, in a way, like Cloud Strife is real. It's a story that's been discerned from the live stream, to borrow a phrase from the game, and brought into the world.
Nice.
So like Cloud Strife in essence is real. So I believe in Cloud Strife as a god.
So
for
this
sure,
is
for
actually something quite interesting, because I just had like a flashback to when I was younger. Because I remember one thing that I asked my vicar, because I went to a Church of England school, and one thing I asked him that stood out to me was when I was 11 or 12 and I was beginning to come out. I asked him, what is the most powerful thing that God has? And he said, your belief. And I think that applies to any kind of God that we assemble here.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could say
As long
this,
as you, as long as your
inter-
belief
inter-
is like.
yeah, interchange God with like Stone Cold Steve Austin, I guess.
Nice. Exactly.
All right, shall we move on to some
All right.
demos?
Hell yeah, let's get into it.
All right, Buttermat, are you joining us for the demo segment?
Nice, for sure, I'm up for that.
Class. All right, let's get
Sounds
into
good.
it.
I am
after-
the god of demos, and I proclaim this demo segment starting right after this.
Yeah, right next we've got a tune from Butty and Future. Future or Buttiano. I always got the names mixed up. So this is And Stars Rain from the Night Sky by Fentanyl Embrace.
I am the god of the demo segment, and I welcome you to my pantheon. Here we shall review music that you mere mortals have sent in, and we shall probably say that it is crap, but we might think that it's good, and we might sign you. So, that's why you should send it in.
Speaking of which, we actually have a special guest of us who may also want to sign you for their label, which is the one and only Buttermat. He's back after a segment.
Back.
Indeed. Yeah, I am looking forward to hearing your truly, I'm sure, very inspiring and perfect and immaculate demos that I will definitely want to sign.
You ready to smite some mortals?
It should be quite fun.
Alright, let's get into it. Who's first on the chopping block?
Alright, here you go, read this.
Nicholas Clayman, I just released an EP on my own, all involved, and it would mean very much to me if you guys would just do it and tell me if you see the potential of a possible release / collaboration or playlist placement in the future. I am enjoying it. It's my local music and the visual art feels somewhat dusty. There's dust all over the place. Can someone get a little dust cleaner, please? It's fucking disgusting. I am software developer, work code and generative processing.
Like, stop. I barely understood the word of that. So basically,
Good.
I've always felt way more connected to the culture and ideas you generate through your output as a label and canvas than to my local scene here in Germany. Music and visual arts here feel somewhat dusty. Hey, I was tweeting about this week on Twitter, on my Twitter account, which is now at the username lucid777777. I was saying the idea of a local music scene is sort of like antiquated now, because if you think about it, if you're making music, even if you're going to send it to someone in your local area, it's like you're going to do it on the internet anyway. So like literally,
yeah,
like, all music is internet music now. You know, the idea of like a local music scene where you're passing, you know, like CDs to one another and all this kind of stuff is like just sort of, you know, it's a bit antiquated. I think it's like everything's global now. Anyway, let's listen to this guy's music. Right, let me just load one here.
25 MIDI is his username. Uh-oh. That's a good start.
Alright, let's listen.
Well, he's already
I'm not particularly
sending us a
impressed with
Bandcamp instead of SoundCloud.
Hold on, let's listen to this.
Ah, coma music. Can we skip in a bit? I'm going to sleep.
Maybe that's the intention. Oh, it's building up.
Oh wait, hang on. Hang on, we got something here. Getting kind of like espresso vibes off of this.
Oh man, Shima, mute your mic. It's like absolutely horrific.
Oh, sorry. I mean, it's not bad either. I can take it or leave it.
What do you reckon, Buttermat?
Yeah, it's alright, but it's just like we've got Remember, and I think Remember does it a lot better.
Yeah,
personally,
it was quite a lot like Jude's music. Actually, I didn't think about that when I was listening, but I thought it was pretty good, to be honest. It was really, you know, very well produced and mixed, and you know, I thought it was pretty good. Actually, I'd like to check out some more.
Let's give them another track. Let's see
yeah,
what else
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no,
for sure. Yeah,
I think
it wasn't like it was bad, but
I think the comparison to Remember was a pretty good one, actually. It's quite in that.
Yeah.
All right, listen to another one here. Yeah, let's see. That's a Remember pad right there.
yeah, for sure. He wears his inspirations in his sleeve, I guess, in this respect.
No, this is very good stuff. I think it's great actually.
No, this has definitely got a vibe to it. Like, it's the sort of stuff I could zone out to.
Yeah, it's like pretty, standard. Like, it'd fit in well with dream punk, I guess. I guess it's more like ambient. I don't know. Like these terms are kind of nonsense these days. Really.
I feel that as well.
Yeah, I'd say it's more like background stuff rather than foreground stuff.
Well, that's what you want, like
Very good
ambient to be.
background stuff.
Yeah. No, it's like it's definitely got that like futuristic edge to it that I think would fit like very well in the dream punk scene for sure. It's definitely like more on that kind of sleep angle.
And speaking of which, I think I'm ready to sleep on that.
Well, like what he's asking for here is less like, can I release on your label?
Oh
It's
yeah,
more,
like he's
like what he's saying is like, can I, get involved in this scene? And like, I think, that kind of music definitely like would fit into, a lot of the kind of stuff that we've got going on here. So, like
one thing that actually stood out to me about this demo submission, what he asked for at the very top, he didn't even ask for anything major. He asked, "Can I get even placement in a playlist?"
Right? Yeah. So it's like
that's like humble. I like that. I like this guy. Like I like his style. I like his sound.
Yeah.
I want to see him explode. If that makes sense.
Let's not go too far.
Yeah.
Right. What I would say is like someone like him is like, just get involved with people within the scene itself. Just connect through, I don't know, Twitter, wherever. Like Twitter's probably the best place to connect over artists. So like I see LinkedIn as sort of like LinkedIn but for creatives and bums basically, which is what we are. But well,
Get involved.
I'm the creative and Shima's the bum.
Wow. Wow.
Sorry, I'm only kidding. You're sometimes creative.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. You're never creative. No, I'm only messing. No, like Twitter, is Twitter. Even though Twitter's kind of annoying and shit. Like at the end of the day, it's where people congregate. It is like the place people congregate, and it's where you're gonna meet other artists and stuff. So, like, if you want to get involved in a sort of scene like dream punk, I would advise make a Twitter and just try to connect with other artists there. But yeah, like I'll keep tabs on 25 MIDI, as he's called. I thought it was pretty good stuff, to be honest. All right.
Who's next?
Yeah, let me just forward that email to our inbox so we can have a bit more of a look into that anyway. So
He's definitely got like the talent there, I think.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely a good producer. All right,
You'll probably be developing as well, so you might get better in the future for sure as well.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. When you involve yourself with a scene, you're bouncing ideas off other artists and stuff. You work with other artists, and that when you have that, you sort of you start to build a sound together and a style together, and that's just sort of natural what happens.
Yeah, for sure, of course.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go to the next demo. Let's go for an older demo this time. Where were we last time? Was it March the 12th?
March the 12th was where we started when we restarted all of this. So we might be a bit further than that.
So here we've got one from Oleg K. Oh wait, it's
Greetings.
No, there's no SoundCloud links. All right, Edward.
Hello, my name is Common Edward. I'm from Moldova Republic. I'm 32 years old. I want to introduce my tracks on your label, please. Here's all my song publics. Listen, see what you think.
Alright, let's listen.
Moldova's a good start though. That's not somewhere you really hear very often.
I'll tell you what's not a good start. His SoundCloud link's not fucking.
Yeah, I've got one. It's okay. Alright, are you ready?
Let's hit it.
Oh, go.
Oh, we're back in the house, are we? Okay, so I've actually got to address this, but I'll wait until this plays out a little bit. I'll give this some space.
What a load of fish.
It's a little bit fluffy though.
Just orgasm on the track. That's cool.
I can. Cringy as hell.
No, I'm sorry. Even with the orgasm sounds, I can't give this any longer.
What about
Aye,
you,
that was
Matt?
complete
Any interest?
shite, like.
Fair enough.
No, absolutely not. The house style is completely overdone. Like, the whole point of house originally was that, like, that's all they had, and that's why it sounded so lo-fi and put together and cobbled, because it was made on shit stuff. Nowadays, you have the entirety of fucking FL Studio 20 or Ableton or whatever, and you still produce stuff that sounds like that? It's like...
This is just a classic sound, that's why.
Yeah, but it's not... That's the point, though. It's like, you know how things go in and out of style? I think the house is just totally out of style at the moment.
Oh, yeah, I'd say so. You know, it sort of had a re-emergence in the 2010s, especially, like, some old 90s stuff, and there was lo-fi house, of course, but I think, you know, it's... You know what's the best style right now is bassline.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't
like
that a Made in the UK classic?
Right, yeah. Like, we always make the best stuff here. Like Dream Punk and Flop.
Hell yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
let
This
me,
guy's fucking
Alright.
SoundCloud link doesn't connect through to anything.
Fine. All right. Okay,
Oh,
go on,
wow.
read,
Kate
go on,
Show Lady.
go on, read that out, Shima, please.
Hello, Dream Catalogue. My name is Ekaterina, otherwise known as Kate Show Lady. I'm a sound producer and composer from Russia. I like to show you my tracks called Magic and Music. You can check it out here. Stick it on and let us know what you think. Cheers.
Alright, let's have a listen to this.
This is not looking too optimistic about this one.
Oh. Those are default FL Studio sounds.
Are they?
Yeah, those are default. Those are stock.
Oh, fuck this.
Yeah,
No need
this
for
is
that.
fucking shit.
This is absolutely rock bottom.
Get
Hold on.
fucking rid of this shit.
That was a bit harsh.
Absolutely no need for that. Jesus.
Alright.
Put that on a club and watch as everyone stands around confused.
Again.
Alright, here we go. Let me just check that's loading. Alright. Alright, do you want to read this one?
Hi, I want to share my music with you. I'm glad to receive much feedback. Thank you.
Okay, let's listen. Do you want to listen to Marcus A, Marcus B, or Marcus C?
Oh, Marcus B by far was my favorite.
Yeah, let's listen to this.
Ambient.
Oh dear.
I like the chords. See, I'm more receptive to music than you two guys. You know, as you know, I kind of like a lot of shit.
I mean, there's only so many times you can hear choppy 80s synth chords before you get a bit bored of it.
Yeah, it's a bit.
Alright, let me skip
it's,
into it.
it's a bit. It's just Boards of Canada, even worse than just a really poor Boards of Canada.
And Boards of Canada were already poor to begin with.
I don't know.
I'm pretty,
I'm like
pretty bored of Boards of Canada. Like, pretty bored.
I'm liking this, to be honest. It's got like a moodiness to it.
It just doesn't really do anything for me. Like, it's just.
I don't know. It's got like an intensity. I don't know where it is.
It's those choppy 80s synth chords.
You know,
Okay, maybe I was
actually
wrong.
I actually really like this, to be honest. I think it's class.
Maybe I was wrong
Oh.
to pick the sequel over the original. Maybe Marcus A is where it's at. I don't
No, I'm
know.
proper vibing
Yeah,
to
it could
Marcus
be
B,
like-
to be honest. I'm proper vibing to Marcus B. See that? I think it's I'd say like the inspiration for this is probably the new Blade Runner soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
It's got like that vibe to it, but I think like it's got like a sort of lo-fi-ness to it as well, which makes it more interesting than Blade Runner. All right,
Let's see what Marcus A's got.
Alright, Marcus A.
Definitely still dark and scary.
Let me skip into it.
Yeah, that's just the vibe that he's got. That's just it.
Yeah, no, I like it. I think it's good, but yeah.
It just doesn't really do anything for me, at least. Anyway, it's not like it's like naff, but it doesn't make me feel anything at all. It doesn't feel particularly stand out.
What about you, Shima, as the general manager of Dreamcast? No.
You see, this is a tight call because I'm like the tiebreaker here. I don't want to shit on this guy's parade because he has got some good production and all that, but 9 minutes of fucking nothing. I'm sorry. No.
Way to put it. No, I really like that. I'm gonna give him a follow actually off my personal account. Let me.
I hope he gets better.
You never know.
I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying very hard.
Alright, I've just followed them, so there you go. Right, next.
You're not shit, okay? You're not shit. Next one.
Isn't it bad? It just doesn't make me feel like anything stand out at all. I'm comparing it to...
I was like deeply affected by it personally.
I was deeply... If you are deeply affected by the issues raised in this program...
Transcendent experience listening to that lad's music.
Oh yeah, it was for me, honestly. I don't know why.
You ever just listen to the demo segment and fucking transcend existence? Okay, let's listen to some absolutely transitory music. Hello, my name's Roland, more known by the scene named Blooddrop. I'm prepared to free singles in now by 2021. I'm looking for distribution, license, publishing. I'm gonna send you my tracks and recommend you listen to them unless you want me to cut your fucking eyeballs out. If you're interested, listen to my shit.
Alright, let's listen to this.
Not me.
Let's transcend.
Let's try. You know what?
Fucking shite,
we need like some kind of like button whenever we get a trap demo.
Again.
Whenever someone breaks out a stereotypical stock break beat or trap.
Just for trap. Yeah. Wait there. Just keep reviewing the demo and stuff.
I mean, that voice. What is that?
That's just complete shite. That is, man. No need.
The trap beat is generic as fuck. The vocals, I don't understand what he's saying. I think those keys in the back are actually out of key with the beat.
Probably. It could be. Could easily be. Fucking nonsense.
Every time we get a trap demo from now on, oh shit, what's going on there?
That'll be great. That's the only thing you can figure
out. Alright, next.
Okay.
Oh, me.
Next few minutes, the trombone meets the bumblebee.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Alright. Let's get hold of ourselves here. Right.
Hello, my name is Leo on the Bund. I am French and live in Shanghai, China. I'm looking for a distributor for 6 upcoming ready albums and more in the future.
6 albums?
I'm very much in the lounge / electro / chill out / oriental / Indian / Chinese /
Go on, pick a tune.
Oh, he's got several here. We've got Key of Life. We've got Alicia Lounge. Well, you know, because that's named after a mate of mine, we got to go for the Alicia Lounge.
Alicia Lounge, okay.
What's it like chilling out in the Alicia Lounge? Let's see here. Pretty fucking dizzy!
Yeah, it's pretty dizzy. Hey, this is nice.
Gotta say, this new Raj Kapoor album's sounding fucking dope.
So this guy's just like a legit like music producer, I guess. But you know, he doesn't know how to go onto Spotify. I think that's his problem. That's what he wants.
He doesn't know. He doesn't have enough big movie studios to put his shit in the background of.
I guess we
So
could
he's
put his
just
stuff on Spotify for him.
Oh, fuck.
Any interest about Futuro Boziano?
No.
I don't know.
Not at all.
I'm vibing to this. I'm feeling this. This has got my inner snake charmer going.
It's not like it's bad musically. It just doesn't feel like it does anything transcendent necessarily.
No, he's
it just
like,
feels like
I don't know. I was fucking transcended right there.
okay.
No,
then.
it feels like, you know, he's a very talented like producer and such, but you know, it's kind of like stock music, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine. That's more fun.
Yeah, he's got a
Yeah,
China
no,
one
I-
here. Do you want to listen to a night in Hong Kong?
Let's listen to some stereotypical
Yeah.
Chinese music.
Aye.
Let me skip into it. See, this is what Hong Kong Express should have been. See, like, if I'd gone more into the vaporwave scene rather than dream punk, I think this is what Hong Kong Express would have become.
Aye, probably.
Just need like a kalimba sample over the top. Hold on.
Play your Kalimba, boy. All of our call operators are busy right now. Please continue to call, and we'll have you connected to the next available representative as soon as possible.
Alright, enough of that.
There we go. We instantly improved this guy's track for him.
Alright.
Leo, I love your shit. You sound gorgeous, but you sound incredibly fucking stock. And we are not here for stock shit. I am sorry.
I've been in the music industry for 15 years and I've been releasing albums under several names. Chris Milano, Pure Sound, Destiny, Sultan Rouge. This is a fresh new start. Hope you like it.
No!
Oh, no.
No, I'm sorry, Chris. I am sorry.
Well, I thought it was, you know, I liked it.
No, definitely no knock on the like production quality, and like his style is very good,
Yeah.
but like just not us.
Alright,
Not us.
next one.
Hey, we are the Golden UFO, an electronic music project. We would like to bring our new work to your attention. This is a not yet released track, but we would like to release it for your label. We look forward to hearing from you, even if negative. Thank you for the attention. To
Well, you're about to hear from us right now.
Oh god, no.
Hold on. Sorry, no trap, please.
Bloody hell.
We only have two rules on the
I don't-
demo
wait,
segment.
what did these trap
SoundCloud
off?
links only,
Yeah.
and no trap.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put that in the fucking demos. No trap, please. All right.
Right.
Next.
Absolutely no need for that.
Hi, we're a music project, and we would like to send you our music production. Our goal is to publish an EP containing 4 songs from our repertoire. It's a blend of various perspectives coming from different people and musicians. Here's a link to the songs we'd like to submit to you for possible collaborations.
All right, let's listen to this. Raindrop.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Not particularly optimistic about this one either.
I'm willing to give it a shot. I've got to say, I like the guitar chords. It's very white bunchy. See, this is what White Banshee could sound like if he wasn't such a shit producer.
Fucking white banshee.
Hold on.
vocals in this one, is there?
Yeah.
There are.
Let's turn it up.
Interesting use of the taiko drums.
I've got to be honest, this is like really nice.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling this. I'm sorry
I'm
for saying that
actually-
I had a bad feeling about this at the start. This is actually pretty good.
I'm actually agreeing with you there. Actually, that's I'm actually enjoying this so far. I'd like to hear more of our stuff though, just to sort of hear if this is like a one-off track or not.
Yeah.
This is a good start. Let's see what else she's
Aye.
got.
Like if it's a continuous sound that's kind of like built up like this, then yeah. But
Yeah.
it could just be an intro track that
Yeah,
just
I get
turns
you,
out to be
yeah.
trap after this,
Trap.
breaking out the bloody trombone again.
Well, let's hear what that next track has, because this is quite nice here.
Man,
Oh wait,
that-
we've got
yeah,
some
that
music
was,
up here.
that was just like lovely, to be honest. I really liked that.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
Yeah, I
nice.
quite like
wasn't
that.
it? What's next?
So I guess it's kind of like post-rock in a sense, but you know, a bit more down-tempo, acoustic, a bit more ambient.
Yeah, I'm quite liking this actually. It's a solid sound.
Yeah.
It's like new age music, but without the spiritual pretentiousness.
It reminds me a bit of Ichiko Aoba, except she's got her Ichiko's stuff is more stripped back to just the good guitars. This stuff's got like a bit more synth to it. It's pretty good though. I'm quite liking this.
Are
It's
you
got
is Buttermat interested for Futuro Bozziano then?
I'm not sure if it's Futuro Buzziano, but I do think it's good. Yeah, I would be willing to drop something by her for sure. It's just
And hey,
really
she does her own
talented.
singing, which is a plus in anyone's books. Oh, you know what? I'm actually willing to give her one more track.
One more track.
I'm
alright.
willing-
I go give her
one
another
more.
track and
Aye,
see how it
yeah.
goes.
Next
We'll give
one.
her one more.
Why is there a guy singing though?
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of confused. Is this a collab or something, or
Yeah. Yeah, see, like, I'm not as interested in the guy singing.
The first line he said was "Change my mind," and this sure did. In one song, you changed my mind from thinking that you were the next fucking big thing into thinking that you're just some generic fucking punkish bitch.
It's a bit harsh. No, he's got a good voice, it's just I wasn't expecting it.
it was a bit.
Let's skip into this. Let's see if it actually goes somewhere.
Maybe it's a collab,
see-
who knows? Right, let's listen to the next one. Oh, right, so it's a band, We Are a Music Project. We want to publish an EP from our repertoire. See, when you read the thing, like, in that silly voice, I just don't, like, process it in my head sometimes.
Do you want me to read it in a more voice from here on out?
No.
Okay.
Alright, so it's different people and musicians.
The Quine's back. Aye.
Aye. Well,
I think everything here is very soft, and I get that that's kind of the sound they're going for, and
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't really
it's-
fit anything we're doing at all. It was just like I was kind of enjoying listening to it, that's all.
but it's very nice, but it's
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
doesn't really
can't-
fit.
You know, I'd actually like to work with that vocalist. So, I'm gonna
ooh, those vocals on a White Banshee track. You see, that might be interesting.
or Hong Kong Express or something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking the Hong Kong Express would definitely fit in
Yeah.
with the kind of angle we've been going for lately with the vocals
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah. Alright, let me just
Send it over to the big man.
See, like they, you know, it says like we're open to possible collaborations. That's what got me thinking. You know, maybe like, you know, they can get involved and so on. All right, one from Eternity Devil now. He's a bit more of from the actual scene.
Familiar.
All right.
Dear Shamer and Nameless, I am a fucking idiot. Here's my stupid SoundCloud link. Please listen to it. Whoa!
Yeah, last week Eternity Devil sent a tune in, but forgot to include the private share link, so we didn't actually get to hear it. So here we go.
Here we go. Now we get to listen to this masterpiece. Rainbow Banshee, Human Machine, featuring Who Gives a Shit.
It's an original name, Rainbow Banshee.
It's a classic.
Well, I'm liking the guitars right off the bat. Welcome to the present. I'm rating it.
Yeah, no, I feel this.
No, it's proper end of music shit though. I rate it.
Hell yeah. You know what? I'm happy to take this on.
Yeah,
I'm happy to say welcome to the team.
Yeah. Let's not play the whole thing, because we might want to drop it as a single. Actually, you know what? If we're going to take a single off Rainbow Banshee, I would like to get a different... So let's listen to a bit more of it.
Yeah, let's see.
Actually, Buttermint, are you interested in Rainbow Banshee?
Give it a bit more and let me hear a little bit more. It sounds alright.
Yeah, this is a proper vibe.
Oh, those drums are nice and crunchy. I like that.
Yeah, it's just like all falling apart. Proper end of music shit. Any interest?
Delightful. This is some delightful musical chaos we got brewing here.
Yeah, I would say this is the standout demo of the week for sure.
Yeah, it was alright. Yeah, I quite liked it.
You interested?
No, I rate this.
Are you interested for Futuro Buzziano?
Yeah, I'm interested. I think it's not mind blowing, but I think it has potential, and I'd be willing to release something that has ideas. Like
Nice.
I said before, definitely, I would give it a try.
I'm gonna pass it on to the butzianfuture@gmail.com email for you then to.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll drop it at some point over the weekend.
Yeah. Just take it and drop it without the permission again.
Again.
Like what happened with biomass. All right. I'm gonna...
Aye.
Yeah, I thought
That's a vibe of it on its own.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's the demo segment for the week. That was the last one, wasn't it? I guess we can get one more old one, and we'll let that sign us out for the week. So, here we go. Cheap Porn Hotel. Do you want to read this?
Yeah, let's listen to some Cheap Porn Hotel. Let's see what Cheap Porn Hotel has to offer.
Do you know what to read the email out?
Hello.
No. Shall we just
Here
listen
is
to it?
some. Yeah, let's just listen
Here's
to
a
it,
demo.
actually, you know?
Here's a demo.
They've written 4 paragraphs, so I don't fancy.
Yeah. All right, pick a tune.
Dr. Shroom.
We've got Dr. Shroom, I Love You, Choo Choo Blues. Do you want Dr. Shroom, yeah?
Dr. Shroom, please.
Okay. Well, that bass line came straight out of 2001.
What you gonna do
Good.
about the blues?
Sopranos theme.
Welcome this mode.
Do a little that, do a little that.
Yeah, this is literally just alt dimension Sopranos theme.
Yeah. Alright, I guess we can let that side us off for the week. So, cheers for coming on, Buttermats. It was a pleasure to have you on.
Aye.
Do you want to
It was
plug
good
anything
fun.
before we go for the week?
Nothing, just butts. I guess butts in future. Come and check our shite, and then demo. I guess if you fancy it. That's all I've got to say, really.
Nice. So that's Futuro Butziano. Find them on Twitter and Bandcamp. So,
Indeed.
Shima, do you have anything to plug?
Not really. Dream Catalogue as always. Check us out on Twitter. White Banshee's going fucking insane on Twitter as always.
White
he's
Banshee?
posted
What are you talking
White
about?
Banshee, nameless.
Man,
you're
you
going
need to you need to keep up with things. I'm lucid again now.
You've gone back to Lucid?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
And the funny thing
Okay.
is, we're recording this segment before the intro segment, so you're going to introduce me as lucid and sound like an absolute moron.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for that, mate. Thanks.
Alright, so, if you want to find me, I'm at lucid77777777 at Twitter. Until next week, peace.
Cut the move.